This Ward and I were roommates way back in the 70s, Ward Parks. And he wasn't happy with the song, but I rescued it from the wastebasket and made him sing it until he actually put it on his album. I sing of Mayher, ever near, ever apart. In the night he came to me and took away my heart. Now the flowers weeping is a rain of dew, and the dawn is creeping where stars once sang of you. O Mayher, your beauty made a captive of my soul, yet you are disdainful of the very thing you stole. Now the empty spaces of my heart proclaim the myriad graces springing from your name. There is a priceless pearl within me, this I know, for it is a gift you gave 1,000,000 years ago. All the world is sleeping, ignorant of pain. I my treasure keeping until you come again. O Mayher, your beauty made a captive of my soul, yet you are disdainful of the very thing you stole. Now the empty spaces of my heart proclaim the myriad graces springing from your name. There is a priceless pearl within me, this I know, for it is a gift you gave 1,000,000 years ago. All the world is sleeping, ignorant of pain. I my treasure keeping until you come again. All the world is sleeping, ignorant of pain. I my treasure keeping until you come again. Jai Baba.
Incredibly beautiful.
That was rescued
Oh,
from the wastebasket
that's even more unbelievable.
of time and space.
Well, so lucky to be so talented that you just throw that song away.
Yeah, he wrote so many songs. He was cranking them out. Well, how you folks you ready for a quote? This is a message that Baba gave, I think, back in the 40s. A public statement. Baba said, Oh, just a second. I better put these things on. Huh. Doesn't stay in my ear. Okay, this is Baba's message quite a while ago, probably in the 1940s. The greatest need of humanity today is love. Love divine, which is pure and selfless, which awakens man to the proper sense and the understanding of his real duty in life, to find true happiness in giving, not receiving, in serving and not in being served, and in willingly participating in the sufferings of others more than in their happiness. This thing is kind of a little bit travel worn, but it says his real duty in life is to find true happiness in giving, not receiving, in serving and not in being served, and in willingly participating in the suffering of others more than in their happiness. So I got a couple more quotes, unless anybody else has a quote. Here's one from Rumi. Every heartache and suffering that enters your body and heart pulls you by the ear to the promised abode. He has afflicted you from every direction to pull you back into the directionless. And I got a poem here. This is a local guy wrote this poem, named Bill Ramsey. It's called Renovations. Huh. Hey. Here it is. I sit, gutted and dazed. You have broken down my drywall, ripped out the insulation, mangled the wiring and plumbing, split open the rafter beams, and bulldozed my foundations. Divine Beloved, thank you for moving in. Anybody have anything, Cliff, you got anything that happened over the last week?
Well, Jeff, I got to see you at the center for a brief
Yeah.
moment. That was nice.
Yeah, that was great. I saw him in flesh and blood. I thought he was just an image. He was getting just two-dimensional, and it kind of freaked me out to see him in 3 dimensions, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't have anything in particular to share.
Nothing,
But
nothing.
Good to see you, everybody.
Anyone else have anything?
Just the quote which says, "But
Oh, hello, what?
No, I think we're hearing some extra sounds.
I guess from H and
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Jubilee's prayers 21st. I thought just showing the Jubilee Center photographs and all. nothing else. Sorry, I've disturbed you, means I'm extremely sorry, Jeff.
Woo! Yeah, no, that's all right. We saw your
Avtar.
brother the other night.
Yeah,
Ram came on.
yeah. So today is 21st Mehru about joining Baba, and today 21st is happens to be my son's birthday.
Uh-huh.
Jai Meher
Good.
Baba.
Uncle, you can show now, like, show the photograph
Yeah.
now.
Slow it, yeah. A little slower, a little slower.
Yeah, I'm just showing Baba's main photograph. This is
This is the
Baba's.
interior of the Jubilee Center.
Yeah,
Move your camera very slow.
yeah. This is Baba's picture at the stage behind. That's
Wow, beautiful.
East-West gathering picture.
Yeah.
Small stage just because on Sunday gathering, people gather here and sing. And these are all Baba's the Jubilee Center pictures. And I'll just take you to Baba's Sadra. This is Baba's Sadra. We just, for security reasons and all that, we have just covered for the COVID purpose, but this is Baba's sandals used in, Baba wore these sandals in 1928 on his birthday. And these are the Baba's pictures at the Jubilee wall. And this is the picture which is given by Mani Auntie to us to Jubilee Center. This was taken in Hyderabad in the Jubilee Center, in Jubilee area only in 1951 during Manonash press meetings for Manonash meetings. And Baba picture is taken at that time that was gifted by Mani Auntie to the Jubilee Center, stating that it should not be go out from the Jubilee Center.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Little slower.
Yeah. And this is the main entrance to the Jubilee Center.
Beautiful door.
Yeah.
Where is the Jubilee Center? Sorry, I just got here.
This is in Hyderabad, in India.
Thank you.
Hey, Mayor Nori,
Yeah.
that Sadra that you showed, does it say the year that Baba wore that Sadra, or is it just a picture that's sitting on it?
No, that's Baba wore, and this is a gift from Mehrazad family. It was given by Woman Mandali to me to give it to. First day they're given to me. Then they said, when you're coming back, you're coming to Mehrazad. Why do you want to keep it that? Why don't you return back? Then that time the center was opened, I promised that if you permit me, I'll donate that to Jubilee Center. So I donated that to Jubilee Center, but unfortunately, I didn't join the Mehrazad family membership because of my marriage. This is totally internal, where gathering we normally take place, the center. So, Avtar, Meher, Baba,
Yeah. Beautiful.
I've taken of your some of 5 minutes of your time.
No, this is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Avatar, Meher, Baba,
Baba
Ki
Ki
Jai.
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 Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
There's the guest house also outside. There's the big guest house. If you want me, I'll show that also from the circle. I'll just go out and just far from the distance, I show it. The
Is
guest
this
house with,
where guests actually stay, or that's where Baba
yeah.
stayed?
No, Baba didn't stay there. Now presently we constructed for the whoever come from the outside. That's in a 4-storied, 3-storied guest house. One exclusively room meant for. This is the stage where normally we do Baba's program, and this is the garden, and this is the place where Duni take place on 12th. That is called Mehrabad Duni. We lit 12th exactly at the date time at Duni lit at Baba at Mehrabad. We lit Duni at Jubilees on every month first.
Mm-hmm.
That's very
And
pretty.
this is the Siblington sample of this tree from Silence Temple House from Madras, Chennai, where Baba planted this plant at Madras, Chennai during 1930 visit.
This is a sapling from that tree?
Yeah, that is from sapling. And this is the quarters which you are seeing. That is the watchman room along with toilet facilities for the Baba lovers. And this is the stage. This is the stage. Normally we do Baba's program in open air theater. This is Jubilee.
Lovely. Wow.
How many people are in Hyderabad, the population?
Population is more than 80 lakhs. I think Prakash knows what lakhs means. Some 80 millions, or I think so. I don't know about that. And this is the guest house where we have the ground in the cellar. We got this guest house, special guest room for Mandali people, because Alobaji stayed and Bauji stayed and Jal and everyone. Whenever whoever comes from Mehrabad, they used to stay. Not Don. Billy Page stayed here and all.
The
and
white building?
That's the building that is. We are seeing that guest house building.
The white building, 3-story.
And these are the landscaping of the Jubilees.
And Alan says it's 6 million, over 6 million people in Hyderabad.
Yeah. These are all total Baba's gardening and all. Baba's garden. And this is an oval center. It's in a round circle, semicircular oval center. This is totally constructed with stone. The complete walls of the Jubilee is with walls made of these stones.
Angela's wondering kind of roughly how many Baba lovers that you have. I mean, you have so many different you have a number of centers, I think, in Hyderabad, but to this center.
We got presently main centers are 4 centers are there.
Yeah.
One is, and main center is Jubilee Center, and the other one is Koti Center, and Malkajgiri Center, and Secunderabad Center.
Yeah. How many people come? I mean, if they all came, how many would be here?
During 25th Baba's birthday and Baba's central inauguration, about 1,000 people will come to the Baba's center.
Wow, yeah.
And during the Baba's birthday, 1,000 people will come. Around the day they will come, and also people on 14th November is the inauguration day, but normally we celebrate on second Sunday of the November. And during October, Manonash cave on 16th to 23rd, any Sunday which falls, we celebrate a Baba celebration where also around about 1,000 to 1,500 people they come at Manonash cave.
Yeah.
And we have a gathering every Sunday, every Saturday morning 8 to 9.
Hmm. Well, beautiful. Well, thank you. That was,
Okay, Meher Baba. Thank you
yeah,
very much.
yeah,
And Jai
thank
Baba
you.
to everyone. So
Yeah,
you are all seen Hyderabad Jubilee Center, I hope.
yeah.
Avtar Meher
Mir
Baba
Baba
ki
Ki
jai.
Jai. Yeah,
Jai Baba.
yeah. Jai Baba.
Jeff, I have a quote that I can share.
Yeah, beautiful. Go for it. Yeah.
This was actually sent to us during Baba's birthday. So I have it from that time, and it goes: "The sure sign of a real hidden conflict is the sense that the whole of one's heart is not in the thought or action that happens to be dominant at the moment. There is a vague feeling of a narrowing down or a radical restriction of life. On such occasions, an attempt should be made to analyze one's mental state through deep introspection, for such analysis brings to light the hidden conflicts concerning the matter."
Yeah. I know. I remember when I first read that. It's a very powerful quote. Read that one again because this is here Baba is saying, about being a little proactive about what's going on in us. Yeah.
The sure sign of a real hidden conflict is the sense that the whole of one's heart is not in the thought or action that happens to be dominant at the moment. There is a vague feeling of a narrowing down of a or a, there is a vague feeling of a narrowing down or a radical restriction of life. On such occasions, an attempt should be made to analyze one's mental state through deep introspection, for such analysis brings to light the hidden conflicts concerning the matter.
Yeah.
So
Ca-
basically, does that mean that there's something that's bothering you, but and you're not able to be your own self?
yeah.
You have something going on at the back of your mind. You're like kind of bogged down by that thought, and then you can't be your natural self when that happens.
Yeah, and you're not connected to the spirit of the situation that you're in. I mean, suppose you have a jealousy of somebody, in this group, and so you're experiencing that within, and everybody's having a good time, and then other, you're in another zone that's not connected, and then I'm just giving an example, and then you try to ideally try to give that complex to Baba so you can get back into your natural self. But that's, I've found over the years, I've had plenty of those experiences, where you're just really not with it. And you're not with it because something has gotten triggered, some emotional complex. And, but then that's a nice, it's good sometimes that I feel that these things come up because otherwise we would never get rid of this stuff if we never got confronted by it in the first place. What did Baba say? Don't let what I bring up in you get you down. Yeah, let's see what anyone else could weigh in on that. I was actually going to read that at some point just because it's focuses right in on one of our major stumbling blocks. But Lanita's got her hand raised. Yeah.
Oh, it's in a more soft note, not so dense like what I've been talking about. So is this Delia de Leon? She wrote this about Baba. She said, I was stunned with the wonder and beauty of him. I had seen his face before in my dreams. The eyes were startling in their beauty. The face seemed of luminous honey color, framed by a halo of long dark hair. His hands were most noticeable. They were strong, slim, and sensitive. During the week of his stay in London, I saw him every day. Time and place seemed not to exist. Everyone and everything faded from my mind except Baba. He alone seemed real, the perfect human being. Compared to him, everyone seemed like a shadow. He drew me irresistible. His love melted me, and his humor and charm attracted me. His silence was more potent than words. When I look at the people passing in the street, I thought, Baba is in the world, and they don't know. How strange that this should be happening to me. Delia de Leon.
Beautifully written. Wow. Yeah.
It's like Saturday. We working at the. We were volunteering at the Baba's Garden. Ed and I. So when we got there, you opened the gate. It was such a beautiful day, and it was sunny, and the flowers was just blooming now at this time of the year, and everything was green, the sky was blue. And we got there, and he said to me, we are immediately in bliss. When we got there, we couldn't believe that we are there at God's garden. We are guarding God's garden. So he said to me, how that happened? I was this boy, I was raised in this big farm in New Jersey.
Yeah.
How that happened that I'm here now? So that's the same thing that she's saying, you know, how nobody knows. Baba is here, he's alive right now, he's right here. You know? And she was in days with we all have 3 hours of bliss in Baba's garden Saturday.
Yeah, beautiful. No, I know.
Thank you.
You the cause and effect is you can't figure it out. How did it happen? You know, such good fortune.
Jeff,
Yeah.
in one of the quotes you read out, it says like participate in suffering of others. So how do we do that? I mean, how do we participate in suffering of others?
Well, sometimes it's the hard way. For example, suppose you've gone through a horrible, painful divorce. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but and you know what it's like. And so whenever you see somebody else who's suffering that, you have no difficulty in feeling what they're feeling. So a lot of it requires having suffered a lot and you know, so that you can empathize with people, but it doesn't necessarily mean everything has to terrible has to happen to you, but you have to be willing to give up your how you're feeling to feel the suffering of others. I mean, you have to be free enough to be you have a nice lovely day like Lenita, you know, and the bliss of Baba's garden. And then she runs into somebody who's, you know, who just got thrown out of their house, you know. They couldn't pay the mortgage, you know. You have to be able to let go of that and be with that with that person. Can't be attached to feeling good. Because, I mean, this is my feeling. To feel how someone else feels is actually, I would say, a greater experience than feeling good yourself. I mean, it's a privilege. Plus, you get out of yourself into the life of someone else. But all of the lousy things that you've done in your life is your link of empathy with others. You know, if you did everything right in this lifetime, and a lot of people are doing a lot of so-called wrong things, you wouldn't be able to relate to them. You'd be sympathetic, but not empathetic. That's why you have Michael Childs there. He's been through the ringer and everything. He knows how other people feel. It's written on his face.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah. But empathy, I feel, is one of the highest aspects of the love that we can experience in this world.
Well, you know, the
Oh, we got a couple of hands here. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
The Native Americans said to understand somebody, you have to walk a mile in their moccasins.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
shoes in that case, you know.
Yeah. They're Reeboks, you mean, kind of. Yeah.
Or Uggs, one or the other.
Yeah. But no, let's see what Catherine, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say that in addition to the empathy and being empathetic to other people, you know, and walking in their shoes that's what brings about the compassion that, you know, is so mentioned in many teachings, that in order to be compassionate about other humans, at least in my experience or my path, it took my own suffering and being able to understand what others were going through to have that compassion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, all of these things that we think are why does Baba do this? Why am I experiencing that? But later on, it really comes through in that you can link with a great many people, and you get out of that feeling of separation. You know, you're more at one with other people. They're not strangers. You know, they're. Now, Betty, let's see what Betty has to say there.
I wanted to share this morning. I was just listening to the news, and there was this lovely sick man, a sick. He was kind of a leader in the community in Indiana where they had that shooting, and it happened that 4 or 6 were killed. So they were interviewing him, and I feel like I could have been listening to Eric. He was so just clear, talking about how, you know, that God is universal and religions are all, he just, he was lovely. He was just a lovely person. And it turned out there's something called, he was nominated or honored as the Interfaith Ambassador of the Year in 2016. His name is KP Singh, S-I-N-G-H, and he has a website that I can't, for some reason, I'm not able to put on. Oh, there it goes. Okay. It was just a beautiful soul. And he had a lot to say about how God is really behind all the religions. I can't paraphrase.
Yeah.
I was so struck by him that I went to his website, and so anyway, that happened on the news today. So I'll share that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's a lot that's you have to swallow today. Yes, Michael.
Well, excuse me. Personally, I found that in my journey, I had to learn to embrace my own evil, and to embrace evil as in order for me to experience compassion for others. It's very easy to be judgmental as to what's right and what's wrong, and to want to believe that everything's wonderful or bad, but to set aside the opinions, whatever opinions I might have or you have, and you'll just look at a person and you can see where they come from and what they're doing, and you can literally get into their skin, whether you like getting into their skin or not. I mean, I can actually understand Trump as an individual, which is, I think, a real, definitely a very strong thing given my opinions about him. But I recognize him as an instrument, Baba's instrument, in bringing about ultimately the salvation of mankind by bringing out all the evil that's in the world, and to embrace it but not be it.
Yeah,
it's like an act of meditation. And I had to open myself to feeling pain, at the same time ecstasy. So in that one poem that I wrote, dangling on a silken thread, consumed with pain and ecstasy, like they're simultaneous. And so it's like when I contemplate Baba at times, I see him as a roaring tsunami that sweeps over the land and just kills thousands of people. Like World War II killed 48 million people. And yet, this is the one whom we love and adore. It's the Lord of the universe. It's not this big happy smile. It's everything. It's the ocean, from the calms to the storms. And to be a part of that, to be this bubble on this ocean, it's quite, how do you say it? It is so beautiful. So anyway, that's what I've learned in my my years of being beaten up and run over by trucks.
Yeah. You know, Baba, there's a line of Baba's which is God realization is the simultaneous experience of the extreme opposites. I mean, that's a tall order. In other words, you have to get the whole. You can't just take 3/4 of it and then leave that stuff over there. No, I'm not going to countenance that. We have to be able to at least experience it, but not necessarily carry it out or act on it, but experience it. And that's what makes us large. You know, we have to get. Oh, Baba said the whole universe is inside us, but we have to get that large to encompass it, you might say.
Yeah, and look at all the terrible things we've done in the past lives. We've been around at least 4 million lifetimes. Can you imagine all the shit that we've done? You know?
Yeah.
All the things that we've done to others, that people have done to us. And here we are, the consolidated mold of our past impressions, because God speaks. And we're focusing on what we need to work on and freeing up the mind, not just let go of positions and what's right. Not what's right, but to do what's ethical, which is not always right or wrong. It's that right or wrong, the contrast, the bigger, smaller. When you quantify things, you're in the realm of the mind. And when you experience the quality of things and the intention and purpose, then you're in the realm of the soul.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Beautiful. That's
my 2 cents.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more than 2 cents. It was 2/4. Any
I'll have to give you change.
Anyone else? I was going to say to Alan that quote that Betty. No, wait, was it? No, it was Cat. Wait, who was it? Read the quote? Oh no, that was
Betty.
Yeah, no, it was Salaji. Salaja. That's from the Discourses.
Yeah. He posted it. That's I guess page 164.
Yeah. You know, I wanted to go back to what we were talking about 2 days back. Because hey, good, we got Ganesh coming in. I quoted this one. This was a quote that had a real pivotal, effect on me. And Baba said about Mira, Saint Mira, that she took everything as coming from Krishna. And so when her husband tried to poison her, she took it as a gift from Krishna, and she was unaffected by it. And he also, I think, put a cobra in a bouquet of flowers or something, and she was protected by Krishna. So anyway, so in the quote that I read, this is the main line that had great power for me, which was when Baba says, "When the intensity of your faith in my will reaches its height, you say goodbye to worry forever. Then," this is the line, "then all that you suffered and enjoyed in the past, together with what you may experience in the future, will be to you the most loving and spontaneous expression of my will. And nothing will ever be able to cause you worry again." Now, I read that, I read that back in the 60s, and maybe decades went by. And I read that and I said, well, I haven't been taking everything as the most loving and spontaneous expression of Baba's will. I got a wake-up call. Jeff, you are not doing that. You got some things coming from Baba and everything, but then there's these people that are doing these things. That's not Baba. That's, these people that are disturbing the world, disturbing me, as a matter of fact. So I had to kind of shift everything and think of it as everything is coming from Baba through people or directly from Baba, but it is all Baba. This is kind of what the challenge I had. And the reason I say this is that Darwin said, when you take everything as coming from Baba and not from people or not from things, when everything comes, you take it as coming from Baba, it will change your mentality and it will change the world, your world of emotions. Just that change of perspective will change your interior. And I don't know if that's clear, but if you take it, everything as that happens to us as coming from Baba, the good, bad, and ugly, then we are taking that quote. We're embracing the truth of that quote. And that is not easy to do. Like I say, there was
very different.
yeah. There was one guy, just to give you an example, there was one guy that came to Mehrabad, and he was told before he came, this is back in the maybe early 70s, he was told that you should get the prasad from the master himself. So he goes kind of to the tomb, and he comes out of the tomb, and this little lady gives him a piece of candy, and he's kind of offended because he wanted to get prasad from the master himself. And so the next day he went out to Mehrabad and he said to Erich, I was told that I should get a prasad from the master himself, and there was a little lady that gave me a little piece of candy that turned out to be Mansari, actually. And Erich said, even the air we breathe is his prasad if we take it that way. Even the air we breathe is his prasad if we take it that way. So, that's like, if we could take everything that happens as coming from Baba, then we would be receiving his prasad. I'm just putting that out. That's a huge challenge, but it's the best way. you know. I mean, anybody kind of weigh in on that?
Jeff.
Yeah.
So I was just in the Grace of God reading tonight, and it's really interesting that you're talking about Mira, because in it, Arnabas is talking about when she didn't want to get married, and she was having a really hard time. I'll turn my video on, sorry.
No.
And she was having a very hard time with it. And Baba had already hinted that he wanted her to marry Nariman. And it talks about some dreams that she had. I think she had either 2 or 3. And in one of them, Mira was in it. And I was saying, who is Mira? I think it's funny that I usually don't come on these late night chats and you bring up Mira. Anyway, it was just interesting that Mira was a major part of the dream.
And one of Mira's favorite saints, Mira.
Yeah, I had not heard of her, but I mean, I don't know that much about. I guess it's from Hinduism, or is that right?
She was a Hindu saint.
Yeah.
Even though if you're a saint, you're beyond denomination, you might say. But while you're thinking that, I mean, while you're looking that up, this is a quote from Mira. See if I can remember it. A mother and a daughter were being about to be sold into slavery, and had one moment to say goodbye forever. I cling to God like that moment. A mother and daughter were being sold into slavery and had just one moment to say goodbye forever. Mira says, I cling to God like that moment. That's one of her poems.
I found it.
Yeah.
So it's on page 68 of The Gift of God. And so the paragraph before, Arnabas had been sent back to Bombay to help Uncle Chanji. But Arnabas was despondent because he had mentioned about getting married. She said, the idea of marriage still disturbed me greatly. I would come to know that in asking me to marry, Baba was beginning the process of showing me that real renunciation was to live in the world and not be of it. But at that time, I did not have this understanding. It could come only from Baba's throwing me headlong into all the activities and duties that a worldly life required. Baba had put me in an agonizing situation, but because I accepted his will silently, he showered me with his love and compassion. One day, while resting on my bed with my eyes closed, I had an amazing vision that changed everything and brought me great comfort. In that vision, Nariman and I were acting on a stage. Though there were many people in the audience, I saw only Baba and Mira. In the first scene, I was playing the part of Mira. Dressed in a beautiful white sari spangled with silver stars, I was seated in a chair by the side of Nariman, who played the king. The first scene faded into the second, in which Nariman and I lived in a palace, completely involved in our worldly obligations, although the true focus of our lives was Baba. In the third and final scene, the background was a forested area in the mountains, and I was dressed in a plain, saffron-colored sari. I walked alone in the forest, singing one of my favorite Mira bhajans, in which she says, quote, now I have come to you, my beloved God. No one can stop me from coming to you, my beloved, end quote. As the vision ended, I was still singing, and it was as though Baba had said to me, Your desire to lead a life of renunciation will not be taken away from you. It will be a gift to you after you have played out your role for me in the world. This life has to be, you have to pass through an ordinary, normal married life. I felt great peace as I accepted Baba's wish and will. And the other thing that happened is she was out. She didn't even feel like buying a sari for her engagement, but she knew that Baba wanted her to play the role. So while she was looking for her engagement sari, she saw in a shop window a white tulle sari with small silver stars and spangles embroidered on it, identical to the one I'd worn in the vision. I went into the store and ordered the sari immediately, knowing that Baba had provided it for me to wear on our wedding day. And she actually wore that sari, and there's a picture of her in that sari in the book.
Yeah. No, that's no.
But
She
I didn't
was,
know the
yeah,
story about Mira, and
yeah,
the was about her faith then.
yeah. I mean, Mayor Prasad, do you know her life enough to just give us just a little outline of her life? Oh, and then we'll get up to Janet too. But
Whose
she
life?
was
Sorry, I've been distracted a little bit. Whose life?
Mira, Saint Mira's life.
Okay.
Do you know the little bit of her story?
I know a little bit, but I'm sure Ganesh and Prakash will know more too.
Well, you start out, and then Ganesh and Prakash can chime in, and
Okay.
Shalaja. Okay.
The thing I know is that she was a princess and she was married to this the king of, I don't know which area it was, but she was
Right.
married to him, and of course she was always in devotion to Krishna, and she was always lost in her contemplation of Krishna, and the king didn't like it, and her the king's family, basically her husband and her husband's family, didn't like it at all, and they basically kicked her out of the palace for that reason. And she just went on, she didn't mind going out on the streets singing his name. And I don't know what happened, but eventually her husband actually realized that that she was a great lover of Krishna and had built a separate place for her to worship in the palace itself. But I don't think she came back. That's
Yeah,
the
I
part
think
that I know.
I do recall that her husband eventually bowed before her, which was unheard of in that culture. But we got Ganesh here too.
Yes.
He's got Wikipedia there. And no.
No. Like I just so whatever Mayor Prasad said, that's what that much even I know. She was called Mirabai. Actually, that's one thing I know of Mirabai.
Yeah, and she mingled
Then
with
she
the common people, which was very upsetting to the royal family.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think she was.
I may add.
They gave her poison once, and
Yeah.
she took it, but nothing happened to her.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. She accepted it as coming from Krishna, and and Baba even mentioned this, and she was unaffected, and that I was kind of connecting that with the quote that if we take things as coming from Baba directly, even if they come through people, they have a different impact on us. But let's ask Janet, what's happening up there?
Well, I wasn't really going to talk about Mira, but
yeah, no, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say about that quote, Jeff. I listened to Sunday.
Oh, wait, someone is. Mayor Sean, we can hear. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Anyway, I listened to the recording of Sunday's late night chat and listened to you talking about that quote. And so I've been thinking about it. And it's always been confusing to me because I learned about Baba from, and you know this, Jeff, from some people whose behavior was less than the good Baba type. It was more along the difficult and negative, and there was a lot of really hard behaviors, really difficult, hard behaviors that that Baba wouldn't have endorsed. I have to say, and I from the beginning, then I had this confusion in my mind about learning about Baba, and at the same time, it was very different from my life before that point. I mean, I was young. I was only like 21 years old when I learned about Baba, so I was young. But so, you know, and I didn't have any background. I didn't have any history of studying Eastern thought or religions or anything. It was just, you know, Baba, and I just took to Baba, but all this other. So it came with the package, let's just say. It was a package, a mixed bag. And I've always, and so the conversation last Sunday was very powerful for me because I thought, okay, to really be able to have the faith, to believe that Baba, that all of that was in some way a gift. And it still hasn't cleansed itself from my life because of a lot of things that I'm not going to go into the history of, but there are, you know, it also currently affects my life, the negative side effects from all of this. And so to be able to really heartfelt have faith that this too is Baba's gift. I mean, it's not something that I can see from the outside. It's not like, oh, yes, that's the gift. It's not, and how all of that behaviors affected not just me, but my children and all kinds of things. And so it's really a deep inquiry for me to be able to shuffle that thinking in my mind, to have faith that this, I mean, because it clearly was from Baba. I mean, it wasn't anywhere else. I mean, it came with learning about Baba. So to really believe that in some way is Baba's gift, not just to me, but to the other people that I know that are affected by it, is a new inquiry and paradigm shift for me. So I so much appreciated that conversation, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's a great challenge to see these things that are really quite disturbing, unethical, whatever, and to imagine that this is still Baba. I mean, it really requires expanding our definition of what love is.
Yeah.
You know, to actually basically include everything, but that doesn't mean we go along with that. That doesn't mean that we don't oppose things or, you know, work against it, but overall we accept it, the whole situation, as coming from Baba. That's the great challenge.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just add two things. All women Mandali, Baba asked all women Mandali to learn Meera Bhajans. Meera Bhajans, Tukaram, and Kabir Doe, and especially Rhoda and Junior Khurshid. They used to sing Meera Bhajans before Baba. And one of the bhajans, Rustum Kaka was asked to sing every day during the Manonash meeting in Hyderabad. that is called Pavore Ram Ratan Dhan Payo. That's one of the beautiful, and that can be, if Sham Sundar is there, he knows the complete verse, he can sing also. Payo Re Ram Ratan Dhan Payo. That's he changed it to Ram instead of Ram, Meher. Payo Re Manar Meher Ratan Dhan Payo during Hyderabad meeting. Pristum Kaka used to sing in 1951. Beautiful. Jai Meher Baba.
Yeah. Can you just translate a couple of the some of the couplets? A couple of the couplets.
If Sham Sundar is there, he can know the complete words of the song. Payo Re Ram Ratan Dhan. Yeah.
Okay, I try.
Yeah.
It is Payori Mane Ram Ratan Dhan Payo. That means I have found the gem of Rama. I have found Rama as the gem. My master has given me a thing which is invaluable, and he has given me by his grace. He has accepted me. I have received the Punji. I have received the जन्म जन्म की पूंजी पाई जर्ग में सब कुछ खुआया. I have received the treasure of many lives, and now I can spend it in this world. खर्च ना खूटे वाको चोर ना लूटे दिन दिन बढ़त सवायो. This treasure cannot be spent, and no thief can take it. It is increasing day by day. सत की नाव खेवटिया सतगुरु भवसागर तर आयो. This my boat, my master is leading the boat, and he will cross me out of this great ocean. मीरा के प्रभु गिरधर नागर हरक हरक जस गायो. Mira's master is Krishna, and I am enjoying in singing his tributes. Thank you. Jai Baba.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you.
That reminds me of a couplet that Mani used to quote often. It's a Kabir's couplet. That couplet really saves me a lot of times when I'm going through these moments of what do you call it? Low momentum. Those kind of moments where you're not really feeling really up to the mark, in his love. So it goes like this. निश्चय ऐसा कीजिए सब कुछ एक ही बार, प्रभु प्रभु का मेरा नहीं, निश्चय ऐसा विचार. Means निश्चय ऐसा कीजिए सब कुछ एक ही बार. It's a Kabir's couplet, by the way. It means that determine once and for all. When you make a determination, determine it once and for all. Sabu Prabhu ka mera nahi. It means that everything is the Lord's, it's not mine. Make that kind of a determination. It's a very beautiful couplet. I remember it so much. Mani used to quote that every once in a while.
I've got a quote here from Mani, but somehow I have my screen has done some weird things. Okay, this is, somewhat connected. This is Mani, Baba's sister. This is the season, the avataric springtime, when the fruits are not only on the trees, but overflowing onto the ground. Pick them up. It won't always be like this. Don't worry whether it is all right for me to pick up that fruit. Take it. His beauty his bounty is boundless. It is our limitedness, our littleness, which prevents us from carrying more. That's why Kabir says that such a season is there for the looting. That bounty of his name, take it, love it, don't hesitate, don't look the other way. loot all you can. I'll read that again. I mean, this is this is a this is Monty, just probably from a tape. This is the season, the avataric springtime, when the fruits are not only on the trees, but overflowing onto the ground. Pick them up. It won't always be like this. Don't worry whether it is all right for me to pick up that fruit. Take it. His bounty is boundless. It is our limitedness, our littleness, which prevents us from carrying more. That's why Kabir says that such a season is there for the looting. That bounty of his name, take it, loot it. Don't hesitate. Don't look the other way. Loot all you can. So, yeah. Oh, I'm unworthy. I shouldn't take. I should just take this much. No, just there's ample around.
Wonderful.
Any other thing, Ganesh? You got anything to bring up? Yeah.
I just want to say that quote you just read. It's from The Joyous Path. It's on page 172.
Oh, okay.
This is the Spring Tide of Creation. It's from that. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Is that volume 1?
Yes, that's volume 1. Mm-hmm. Page 172.
Yeah, there's a line from the Mandali, behind the ill will that we experience is his infinite goodwill.
One thing I was going to say.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, just that in what you were talking about in just in my own dealings, and just lately I haven't been feeling well, and there's a lot of going on. It's just when we say it's all from Baba, what kind of helps me a little bit is too that, you know, this, my life is Baba's, you know, this is Baba. And so it's both coming from and receiving Baba in both ways, you know. And so it's like, if I don't want to do something, if I'm feeling whatever, I find that if I'm in my mind or my false self, or I get overwhelmed, but then it just, this sort of surrendering happens, and then all of a sudden stuff gets done. I don't know how it happens, but, you know, I give it to Baba, you know, Baba did it. Because it wasn't me.
Yeah. The Balna too always had this expression, when he takes over. You know, we can when he eclipses us. Oh, good, Michael. Yeah.
I have a guzzle U, in case you want to know. My clock has numbers and no hands. No longer is it about 10 o'clock. It is exactly 10:10. Does this really matter? At this very moment, time is slow. In 1/2 hour, there'll be a split-second race to be on time to something soon forgotten. Lord, when I contemplate your you-ness, how else can I describe the indescribable? Time is non-existent. It is a leisurely evening spent absorbing the smells of trees and grass and flowers, awestruck by the sunset, laughing at children playing, lost in conversations that lovers seem to have who never seem to say enough to satisfy each other. The picture fades and crumbles. Hurry, Michael, you'll be late, and swept up in time's torrent, disappears in guilt for wasting precious seconds that could have been more useful. Lord, is it time to leave, or is it time to stay? Someday, when it pleases you, may I stay forever.
Would you read that one again, Michael? That was beautiful.
Okay. Should I read it faster?
No, no. We need to
I'm just playing with you.
we need to hear it experientially. It's a little slower.
Okay. My clock has numbers and no hands. No longer is it about 10 o'clock. It is exactly 10:10. Does this really matter? At this moment, time is slow. In 1/2 hour, there'll be a split-second race to be on time to something soon forgotten. Lord, when I contemplate your you-ness, how else can I describe the indescribable? Time is non-existent. It is a leisurely evening spent absorbing the smells of trees and grass and flowers, awestruck by the sunset, laughing at children playing, lost in conversations that lovers have who never seem to say enough to satisfy each other. The picture fades and crumbles. Hurry, Michael, you'll be late. And swept up by time's torrent, disappears in guilt for wasting precious seconds that could have been more useful. Lord, is it time to leave or is it time to stay? Someday, when it pleases you, may I stay forever?
Beautiful. Lovely. Very touching. Let's see. I thought I'd introduce I was thinking of introducing a different topic. This isn't the topic I was thinking of, but this is one thing that has helped me, and see how you folks relate to it. It's possible to know that Baba is with you without feeling it. In other words, not requiring the feeling of Baba with you, but at the same time you know that he's there. I mean, that helped me, because we're not always up for feeling Baba all the time, but we do have a knowing that can know that he is here, which is very comforting and very sustaining. But if Baba gets tied with maintaining certain feelings, then it's going to seem like he comes and goes. There was a time, this was back, I've mentioned this before, back in the mid 70s. I was at Marazad, and Mara was on the porch saying goodbye to this lady who was had finished her pilgrimage and was going back to the West. And she told this lady, to take Baba with you. He's there. Count on him. Remember him and everything. And then she said, sometimes we feel very empty and depressed. But we know Baba wants us to be cheerful, so we make efforts to be cheerful. Now, inside I thought, my God, she has been with Baba all these years. She's the beloved of the beloved. If she hasn't mastered the experience of a joyous presence of Baba in her heart, then love must be something different from what I thought. Because, see, up to that point, I thought if I wasn't feeling Baba, if I in the morning, if I was feeling Baba and then I lost the feeling, I thought, what did I do wrong? I've done something wrong. I lost it. And here is Mara saying that sometimes she feels empty and depressed, even though she is radiating so much love, but I mean, that's her experience. So after that, I never felt bad if I felt empty or however I felt. In other words, feelings, love was on a different track from feelings. Love is there. I like I say, we can we could be very depressed, and yet if someone was in a desperate need, like a car crashes out here, I would, as depressed as I was, I would bolt out and try to help them. So that the love was not dependent upon my mood. I mean, my mood is on a different track, and love can just push it aside in a flash. So anyway, after that, I never felt, this is early on, I never felt bad if I didn't feel Baba. But then the knowing comes in there. You know he's there, whether or not you feel him, because the feelings are different from love. They reflect, feelings at the height reflect love, but as I've said before, the moon reflects the sun, but you won't find the source of light in the moon. You won't find love in the feelings. I mean, the source of love in the feelings. You have to look toward love itself, which is at a deeper level. Anyway, so I throw that out. This whole idea of feeling Baba and knowing that Baba is there. I'm just, we'll see what Elizabeth has to say.
So my question is, so is love an intention, or is love an action, or is love something else?
Well, love, I think, is a state of being that can suddenly manifest into action. But it's Baba says love is a spontaneous, springs out of the spontaneity of freedom. It's not a should. I should do this. I should do this. This would be good to do. There's a line from Victor Hugo, the French novelist, who says, "Virtue, as in the case of vice, is a calculated action. But love is not calculated. It wells up in the heart and expresses itself spontaneously."
Right, you mentioned that.
So it doesn't quite have a motive. Good has a motive, and I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with good, but it has a motive. It has a certain deliberateness to it, whereas love just wells up and gets itself done. Doesn't even have a motive in the same way that good has a motive. That's just my, that's my sense of it.
Hey, Jeff?
Yeah.
Here are a couple of lines from Adi. Adi
Yeah.
from the book Just to Love Him. I just read a couple of lines. I don't know. We can think about it. He goes, "Love functions within us as the very purpose of everything we do." Let me read that again. "Love functions within us as the very purpose of everything we do. From a sinner to a saint, this purpose or power motivates all our actions. No matter what the target we aim at, money, the opposite sex, power, fame, or God, the propelling force is love. It is for the love of someone, including self, or for the love of something that we exert, we suffer, we enjoy, we live, and we die."
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there he's saying, I mean, the overriding theme is love. It's moving everything.
Right.
But then down here on the local level, we can act from good or from emotions and everything, rather than channeling that love that is there, picking it up directly and expressing it.
I mean, the way I understand what he wrote is everything that we express, everything that happens is propelled by love. I think we can figure that out, uh, then maybe we have, you know, the whether to feel love. I mean, I totally agree with you regarding trying to feel love and trying to contain that expression of love with feelings. I mean, which doesn't work all the time, because I may remember him for 20 minutes and after that it's out of the window. So definitely it is much more than that, like you said. Uh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, no, beautiful. Yeah, no, I mean, these are all these nuances, but I think sometimes it's good to bring them up. Let's see what Michael Childs has to say here. Yeah.
Well, Christ said that we had to become like children to enter the kingdom of God. And what all of us have done is forgotten the spontaneity of our childhood. When we didn't think about love, we just loved.
Yeah.
And we trusted. We didn't think about how to trust and whether this was right or whether this is wrong. Mainly, the only thing we worried about is whether we be yelled at or loved or given attention or fed. It's like too much thinking about something that doesn't need any thought, because who we really are is love. So the only suggestion I could come up with right now is that we drop all the scripts. In other words, if you said something once in the past and you say it again, it's likely that it's a script. So it's not spontaneous, it's a script. So it might be okay, make it okay for yourself to stumble, feel embarrassed, you don't know quite how to say it, you have these feelings, but how do you put words to it? And instead of getting to these reflections about what love is, just learn to be spontaneous. It's like I keep on thinking about this little girl going up to a boy, maybe 4 or 5 years old, and she says, "Do you want to play?" Total stranger. Total stranger. "Do you want to play?"
Yeah.
And the little boy says, "Yeah."
Yeah. No, it's beautiful.
This is who we are. This is
Yeah.
where we came from. I mean, this is all of us. And all we learn to do on top of that is how to say the right thing, how to behave in society, how to have others think well of us, how to succeed, and all these shoulds and shouldn'ts that just drive us crazy.
Yeah.
So I think that it's okay to seem mad. And somebody says, what's going on with you? I don't know. I just have an urge to smell a flower. And somebody else might say, "Yeah, sounds like a great idea. Let's find ourselves some flowers to smell." And there you are off on an adventure.
Yeah,
which
beautiful.
It has a sweetness to it. And I know that Baba just loves it when we as his children behave in a spontaneous way. He told us to be natural, not to worry about whether it was right or wrong or whatever, but to be natural.
Yeah.
And then what is natural? We've all been twisted into these figments of society's imagination in order to fit, and we're driving ourselves crazy.
Yeah. No,
so
well said.
My wife is signaling me to wind it up.
The time. Don't forget the time there.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's. There's a line from Sri Aurobindo. He was a six-plane saint, and he said about education. He said the education is the gradual and methodical strangulation of the soul. I mean, you're so free and spontaneous and everything, and now you got to learn all this stuff, and and right and wrong and good and bad and everything, but I think Baba's leading us back to what you say, Michael. Back to Baba said, be innocent as a child and sane as a saint. This time we're not going to blow the spontaneity of childhood. Once we get it back this time, we're not going to squander it. And I feel we, like you say,
I
I think
believe
we're
that's
being, what?
I believe that's the essence of wisdom.
Yeah.
Because all the people that I've known who are wise were very childlike. And
Yeah.
you could tell them a story and their eyes would go wide and say, really? And there you are involved in this wonderful little circle. It's beautiful. So
yeah,
that's the stuff we need to dig out and inspire in each other.
Yeah, beautiful. Let's see. I can't didn't know who was first, but well, I'll go with Catherine.
Well, I think Elizabeth was first.
Oh, Elizabeth. Okay, go for it.
Well, unfortunately, I have to respond. The same issue. So, I mean, Baba also said things about love those whom you cannot love. You know, to me, that takes intent. You know, a desire to. Well, it's not like duty. It's I mean, it could be, but more an attempt to expand one's capability of loving beyond the former capacity. So that's not spontaneous, though. That is the, as far as that is the effort, like, you know, an effort and grace. That is the effort to try to grow your ability to love beyond the current capacity. And it is not easy, you know, so to me, and that's it. Why do I know this? This is my experience. Okay. So I can be spontaneous, but there are instances when I want to be more loving and go beyond my current
present. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like you play the piano and you are stuck with learning the scales and the chords and the melodies, but ultimately you get to where you can even extemporize on the piano. I mean, so all these efforts that we make do ideally, rather than leading to an ethical stance or a, you know, a good, bad, right, wrong stance, you get to where you reach the spontaneity after so much practice. The aim is to get to the spontaneity rather than to be have these very mechanical responses.
Right.
You know, but you're right on that.
It's complicated.
Yeah. But eventually, like I say, it becomes natural.
Yeah.
So, Catherine.
Well, I'll add to what Elizabeth was saying with, you know, in the Lord's Prayer, the one line is that I had a lot of meaning for me was to love your neighbor as yourself. And, you know, in my local church and stuff, my interpretation of it was a little different, you know, because I'm thinking of them like that person is me, you know,
right.
Like, and that's how I feel through Baba's teachings. Whereas on a more Christian, seemingly it was more just that we're all supposed to love each other or be brotherly love. But I'm like, no, I mean, it's like we're both there. That's you, you know?
Exactly.
And that meant a lot to me to get that message. And then in addition to what you were saying about love being the force, and may the force be with us. I'm a Star Wars fan, so the whole thing of the force of answering the conscious question, the force of consciousness of who am I is what I understand that to be, you know. And when it came to emotions and feelings, you know, I don't know if there's a difference between an emotion or a feeling, but I tell you what, when you go through menopause, you know that you've got chemical issues with emotions.
Yeah.
So I learned that. Some other women maybe have learned that too. I mean, you'll all of a sudden have an emotion for no reason whatsoever, you know. And so it's not, you know, there's this chemistry involved, and it kind of brought that to the whole physical and mental aspect of feeling things. You know, it's just part of the human condition, where to me, even though love is part of the human condition, it's something other than our emotions and whatnot.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I got, here's a quote from Erich in Mandalay Hall. A Westerner said to Erich in Mandalay Hall, "There are some people I just don't like." Others in the hall heartily agreed with him, this person. Erich, pausing thoughtfully, replied, "You may dislike someone, but never assert that you have the right to dislike anyone." There's a nice hint. You may dislike someone, but never assert that you have the right to dislike someone. That's what ties up the whole process. We kind of make a value out of it, and I can like and dislike whoever I want, and that kind of is challenged by love your neighbor as yourself. Any Alan, what do you got cooking there on the back burner?
Nothing much. I shared a small little experience I had because I sent it to you via email today. I didn't see your email that you sent 2 days ago, so I just sent that to you. But but yeah, I think I really like the fact that I think I'm looking at the ways that I can be with Baba and not necessarily feel him. That's a really important thing at this juncture in my life. Because it's not always easy to feel like I'm in my heart, or like it's not always easy to be thinking or feeling kind towards another, or remembering that we are all one, or that my fellow brother or sister is such. Sometimes it's just very challenging. So yeah, it was just some of these sweet moments though that I think I don't know whether if it's like how you. I think just from discourses when Baba says that, like, if somebody comes in this lifetime and you happen to have that contact with the master, it's something that Padre talked about, or people would be like, Baba, this scientist or this great person is here to see you, like, and Baba would say, let them wait, and then he would just make them wait so long that they would be like, screw this, and they would just leave, and they were just, the Mandali would look at Baba and just be like, well, I guess there was just no connection. Baba would say there was no connection. So the fact that, I can think all I want in terms of like, well, my life has these things and that thing, whatever it is, and it has its challenges and its beauty, but it's also like, I don't think I could really have, in terms of worthiness or like, what have I done to deserve whatever, or it's like that's out of my hands. Why I have these moments with Baba, or these very intimate moments of grace that helped me to not just particularly just lose faith in why I'm here as a human being, because you could really, with all the stress and everything and chaos being in the world and all the allurements, could be very easy for somebody like me to really fly off the rails, and some Baba lovers do, even if you have Baba, in your life. So maybe one day something needs to happen for you, and some people spin out and are gone forever in the way that they need to. But yeah, I don't know. It's just these little moments as of now where I'm really appreciating Baba's presence and love. And yeah.
Yeah, and he slips his moments with you at odd times. It keeps you knowing that he's got his eye on you. Yeah.
It always seems to be odd times. That's the thing. It's interesting. Always an odd time or something. Or when I
Yeah.
least expect it.
Yeah. What? Let's see what. Let's see what. Mayor Prasad, you got any thoughts over there?
I had a little story for some reason I remembered when we were talking about childlike and spontaneity. Dr. C.D. Deshmukh was, very much known for his childlikeness and his spontaneity. So this is the story from the uh, intimate book from the group Prasad Intimate Times. I don't know what the actual title is, but so there was one time where Begum Akhtar came in 1963 to Guru Prasad to sing, and she was singing, and she was a very famous singer in India. She was at the very top at that time, and Baba liked her singing very much. She was his almost most favorite ghazal singer. So she was singing, and Baba was really enjoying, and everyone were really absorbed in that singing that she was doing. And in the middle of it, Dr. Deshmukh, he started to sing his own version of some Sanskrit thing. And his voice was not great, and it was disturbing all the thing that was going on with Begum Akhtar. And, that happened 2 or 3 times, and Baba told him to go away. He said, go out of the room. So he was sent out. He was given warning, if you do this again, I'll send you out of the room. But he kept quiet for some time, but he started again. So eventually Baba told him to go out of the room. And then he was out for some time, and then he came back again. And Baba said, okay, come in. And then he kept quiet for some time, and then he started again. So, Baba just ignored him, and he kept on doing it throughout the program.
Wow.
So Balnath or somebody says that, when you're childlike that, Baba just doesn't mind. Even if you disobey, it doesn't matter to him, because he kind of disobeyed when he was sent out. He just came back right in.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like a child would, just do something right out in the middle of an adult world, just say, hey, well, when are we going to eat? I'm hungry, or whatever. Just come out with it. No.
I have a little quote if you want me to read.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about miserable and so on. So, it is natural that at times you feel 100% miserable. Be sure that I know everything. When everything goes wrong, the mind becomes helpless and has to rely on the heart. These are the moments when you resign to my will and rely solely on my help. When you leave all to me, I dare not neglect you, and you get relief from your predicament.
Yeah. Erich used to quote that by saying, I dare not care not. I don't have a choice not to care. Is that Marcia up there in the dark? I can't see who it is.
I was debating whether I was going to speak about what's happened in the last couple of days. I'm not sure I want to be recorded, because I'm a prime example of all the things you're talking about. But it involves my daughter, and I don't know. She's very private, and so I'm thinking, do I hold this in, or do you unrecord me?
I
Not
can
record
pause.
me?
Yeah. Josima can. He can. Mute you, or I mean, not mute you.
Finally, I said, well, all right, just go in the store and do whatever you're going to do. And then 5 minutes later, I'm walking my dog, and I'm saying, well, I didn't even ask Baba what I should do. Why did I?
Restaurant in New York, and you probably know him, Buck Busfield, Tim Busfield's brother. And there was a holdup, and all the waiters they scattered and everything, and they took all their tips and they threw them all behind things, tried to save their money. And the guy grabbed him and put the gun up to his head and said, you know, no one move. And so everybody stopped, of course. And he was sitting there thinking of Baba and everything. And they said, wow, this is just amazing. I mean, I'm so calm and everything. And they did the robbery and they went. But he said for 9 months, the intrusion into the intimate part of himself with that gun, it was very disturbing for 9 months. You know, he thought that he was so. I'm just saying, what your daughter has experienced is no small thing. It may take many months to recover from that. Because this is a Baba lover, and he was actually kind of relaxed with the gun to his head, and yet the repercussions went on and on and on.
Yeah, I expect that's going to happen. Yeah. I
Yeah.
told her.
So anything you can do, even if she gets a little therapy or something, just to process this stuff rather than trying to just forget it all, you know.
Well, this is the third time something like that's happened to her.
Jeez, oh my God.
She's worked.
You know, I wanted to mention to Alan maybe and Mayor Prasad, I'm going to take some time off, and not this Tuesday, coming Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. If I'm not there, if I'll let you know. But if you guys could show up, you guys kind of pretty handy with the quotes and Jasima with the hosting. If I'm not there, and then Ganesh too. Ganesh, we'll recruit him too. But you know, just I know you guys can keep the rest of the people from going off the rails.
Have Prakash.
Yeah. Well, you all can do it. Let's see. I got one final. See if I can find something. Oh. I was looking for a final quote. If anybody can find a quote,
I may tell.
Or unless there's something else that comes
story
up.
about
I'm
Mira.
looking for
if
a
you
quote
would like.
myself.
Jeff.
I guess Jeff is searching for something.
Yeah. In the meantime, I can tell the story of Mira.
Yes, Shyam, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Mira, while Mira was also a princess, when in childhood, she asked one time her mother,
So,
when they were talking
I've
about
got a
that.
quote for the.
Jeff, Shyam is
Jeff.
telling the story of Mira.
Jeff. Oh, okay. And when they were talking about marriage problems, Mira asked her mother, "Whom shall you marry me?" She said, "You are married with Krishna," because she was devotee of Krishna right from the childhood, and this she remembered till her youth. And when she was married, she was actually reluctant to marry, but because of custom, she married with the prince of Rajasthan. But she did not share bed with him, and she was busy in with Krishna devotion. She was singing sometimes in different temples and joining some sadhus and saints in singing and in worshipping Krishna. The family members and king himself were objecting to this, that it is not a royal custom to mix up with other people and to sing in streets, but Mira could not stop it. And when the family members knew that she is not sharing bed with her husband, they were very much angry. So they wanted to kill her. And one time they sent a cobra in some container. But cobra, when she opened the container, cobra just went out and did not harm Meera. Ultimately, when when they saw that cobra is not doing anything, they served her poison and give her to take it. She took that also, but nothing happened. And one time when Meera was in her room, king said that you don't go to the temples and outside world. I will make a temple in your room. And he put an idol of Krishna, and she was worshipping that. One day, when she was busy with worshipping, the door was a little closed, and the family members heard that she was talking to someone, and it was male voice. So they just bolted the door from outside and called the king that someone else is there in the room with Meera. You just go and check. The king came and opened the bolt and went inside. There was nobody. He said, "Whom were you talking?" She said, "I was talking with Krishna." Oh, he said, "Krishna, this idol?" She said, "Yes, I was talking to Krishna." He said, "But people heard the male voice. Who was the male inside?" She said, "It was only Krishna. Krishna was speaking with me." Then he was very much astonished, and he bowed down to her that Krishna is actually talking to you in physical form. So you are great. This is the main story. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Wow, that's yeah,
By the way,
lovely.
today in India, that's tomorrow for you. It's Ram's Lord, the Ram Avatar's birthday. So that's what is called Ram Navami. So Baba as Ram, his birthday.
Yeah, yeah. Sham sang a ghazal from or a bhajan of Ram. Hey, well, if there's nothing, I will finish with a poem, unless anybody has anything to further. Okay, this is Rumi. Last night I learned how to be a lover of God, to live in this world and call nothing my own. I looked inward, and the beauty of my own emptiness filled me till dawn. It enveloped me like a mine of rubies. Its hue clothed me in red silk. Within the cavern of my soul I heard the voice of my beloved crying, "Drink now, drink now." I took a sip and saw the vast ocean before me. Wave upon wave caressed my soul. The lovers of God danced around, and the circle of their steps became a ring of fire around my neck. Heaven calls me with its rain and thunder, 100,000 cries, yet I cannot hear. All I hear is the call of my beloved. Heaven calls me with its rain and thunder, 100,000 cries, yet I cannot hear. All I hear is the call of my beloved. Let's have a few moments of silence. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Hey.
अवतार मेहर
Meher
बाबा
Baba.
की
DJ.
जय।
Avatar Meher
Meher
Baba.
Baba
Meher
की
Baba
जय।
Avatar Meher Baba.
और
की
मेहर
Ram
बाबा
Meher Baba ki jai.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Hey,
Good night, all.
Payam. Yeah.
Hey, Baba.
Jay, is Jay there? Yep. Nasreen?
Yes,
got-
yes, here.
We have to hear that voice before we go to bed.
Yes, I can talk to you. If you ask me a question, I can answer you.
Are you and Mahmoud there too?
No, he went, to rest.
Yeah. Good. Always nice having you there. And Dinesh,
you.
he might appear.
We should have
Muncie
Nasreen read Mehra's story one time.
go ahead. What?
We should have Nasreen read some of Mehra's stories sometime.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I
Because her
will do
voice-
that.
Yeah.
To read
Definitely.
Mira's story or Mara's story?
Mehra's. Because her voice resembles so much of Mehra. So
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's my
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah. Good though. Dinesh is he came to the surface. Yeah, any last minute thing that came up? I'll tell you this, that Nashirwan's going to talk again. He's going to pick up from his teenage years to his young adult years with Baba and his communications with him, and that is on May 2nd. That's a Sunday, May 2nd. So we'll get, and he has his communications, the things that Baba sent to him. Someone remembered the quote from Baba when he decided to renounce the world and everything. What was that quote?
renounce nothing but your current attitude.
Your present attitude or something. But we'll hear that. We'll hear that in person. Yeah, and I'm going to try to get Goer Mobed to share her story of Baba and also her father. Her father was Minu Karas, who has a very interesting story of coming to Baba, and especially his first meeting with Baba and what Baba said to him. It's well worth hearing, and I'll let you know on that too. Yeah. So.
Hey Jeff, for the road. One last thought. I was thinking for us to take. How do we keep our promises to the Lord?
What?
How do we keep our promises to God?
Ooh. Be careful about making promises.
Yeah.
Just do the best you can. I mean, promises are hard to keep. I mean, unless they come from Baba.
Yeah.
I mean, if he gets you to promise something, but I'm hesitant to promise because I've broken too many promises. I wasn't able to do what I promised to do. But I would rather just keep trying and that rather than this is just my opinion, from my experience.
No, that's helpful.
I think Baba helps you if you make that promise.
Mm-hmm.
This has been my experience. I used to drink alcohol, and one day when I went to Hyderabad, I was in the tomb, and out of nowhere, I was not even thinking of quitting alcohol or anything. It's just something just welled up in me, and it just came out of nowhere that I promised to him in the tomb that I was going to give up alcohol.
Yeah.
And I was not even thinking of that, and that was I never touched alcohol after that. It was not
Yeah.
really my thing, but it was his help. When
Yeah.
you make that promise and it comes from him, like Jeff
Yeah.
said, he helps you. But
Yeah.
I get dreams. Every
Yeah.
once in a while, I get dreams that I have alcohol and I have this intense guilty feeling in the dream that I did something horribly wrong.
Yeah.
And I wake up in the next morning, I feel, oh my God, I feel so relieved after that.
I know. Like sometimes I used to be a very heavy smoker, especially in my early years with Baba, and 20, 30 years later, I'll find myself smoking in my dream, and I'm thinking, wow, this is not a problem. Hey, I can actually do it now. And then I wake up, oh my God.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the promise, like Mayor Prasad said, I mean, Baba has Baba has been instrumental in getting some promises from me, but they weren't initiated by me. They somehow came from him.
Yeah.
And those were very significant promises to keep.
Wow.
Try to avoid them though, like Jeff said. Try not.
I'm just a little reluctant. I've broken too many of them, and Bob, I'm sorry, but can't. I've screwed up again.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'll take that with me for the week.
Anyway, it all comes out in the wash. Everything will be clean one day. We'll have fresh clothes. Okay, well, Lanita, we kept you way up there, but all right. I know Muncie. I would like to see who the Muncie is. But you're entitled to stay. Muted. No, huh?
Muted.
Yeah.
Mute.
But anyway, okay.
Hello, Jeff.
What's that? Oh.
Hello, I'm sorry I can't get my video on just now. I am Mansi from Bombay.
Yeah.
Jai Baba.
Can we see you, or you can't get the video, or?
I can't get the video on just now. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, wonderful that you're there, even if
Thank
we
you.
can't see you there.
Next time for sure.
All the unseen presences are all a part of this. If the unseen presences weren't there, we would just we wouldn't have enough calories to get by for 2 hours. Okay. Much love. Jai Baba.
Much love to everybody.
Jai
Tata.
Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai
Take
Baba. Jai Baba.
Bye.